Hey, welcome to the channel. I am Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. We are in the album from Jon Bellion from this year, 2025, called Father Figure. This is track number 3, Oblivious. Let's give it a listen, and we'll dive in a little deeper on the other side. Not to stop it here at the beginning, this gives me the vibes. What's that song that's like bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum bum ba? That's what that sounds like at the very beginning. I love Jon's sound and Father Figure. Listen, I know we're only in track 3 of Father Figure, but so far, and I have heard 3 other tracks, so 4 in all, 5 if you're including Oblivious, because when I started the channel, it was Jon's song Wash that came across my YouTube feed, and I heard that, and that launched this channel. And so at the time, I didn't know I was going back through his library. And so I had listened to Wash, Father Figure, and then Rich and Broke. So I do know a little bit about this album. There's so much left that I haven't heard. There's something about Jon's evolution. I loved Glory Sound Prep. I think I love Glory Sound Prep more than Human Condition. And obviously we've gone all the way back through his old mixtapes. There's something about the evolution from Glory Sound Prep into Father Figure that puts Jon in the elitist of elite, and he was already elite. The sounds in this are so good, dude. So mature, so soothing, so polished, and yet fully Jon. Such a jam. Listen, I think this is the longest track on the album at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. But you could tell in here, like John's just letting it breathe. He's just going for it. And obviously seeing some of the making of videos and things and watching his process, you can tell in this, like that's just what he wants. He just wants to let it breathe and build. And somebody used the word sonic soundscapes a few albums back, and I couldn't get that on my mind. It's 100% what John specializes in, just creating these spaces. Like I feel like I'm flying right now. It's absolutely incredible. He's bringing in the studio sounds. You know, one of the things I always listen for, I guess at least just what stands out to me in songs are, and I use the word dynamics, and I don't know if that's it. It's just bringing in all these different elements and how you layer them. And so even there in the last 15 seconds or so, him bringing in the studio sounds, just this ambient noise. It almost sounds like a rustling or, because a lot of times when you're recording studio stuff, you don't want any noise other than what you're trying to get through the mic or through an instrument. But to bring in just this random sound of somebody moving around or whatever it is, it just adds this element to it that makes the song so interesting. Well, on the lyrical side, it's a pretty straightforward song, obviously, but let's see what Jon had to say about it. He said, as I was driving to a college basketball game with my dad and it was raining, at a red light near the crib, me and my dad saw this guy just like dropping to his knees in the rain with both hands in the air worshiping. The weird part was he looked like a well put together guy, like a regular businessman that seemingly had like a mental break or maybe a realization. A few days later, I was in a session with the crew and this whole top line sort of poured out of me. Felt like it was the soundtrack to this guy's mental break or realization, like a giant song about giving in to the idea of the spiritual, faith, all the hocus pocus terms. This song is an oasis-coated wall of sound about giving in to the concept of love, choosing to believe that it exists and is a real thing. Wow, that's beautiful. Let's hop up and take a look at it. So, obviously, taking this at face value, this call, who do you love? Say I'm the one. It's just this idea of obviously he wants to be the one receiving the love. And we know from Glory Sound Prep and obviously into Father Figure, his wife, his child are the central figures of this love. And so just this like, say I'm the one, like say, I don't know, to be loved and to know genuinely that someone loves you, especially if you're talking about a romantic love, a marriage, a partnership, a lifelong engagement with another person. Man, to feel secure and solid in that love is a special thing. And so he's like, say I'm the one. In a sky full of red, you're my light. You're as high as it gets. This is what I'm interested in, the sky full of red, which I could picture. We'll go back and revisit the making of Wash, because I did watch the making of it again before I really knew what I was doing with the channel. I was just really interested in Jon. And so I went and watched the making of Wash. And there's that lyric in there where he says, what was it? Lights in the night sky or something sparkle like diamonds. Excuse me. Let me look it up real quick. Wash lyrics. He says, Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Stars on the lake look like a million diamonds. And in the making of, they show this clip where the place that he's at, he's like looking out off the back porch or out of the back door, and there's a lake. And the way the ripples of the water and the light, it just looks like sparkles everywhere. And so, I can very much imagine whether it was while Jon was writing this or recording it or thinking about it, this maybe a sunset type atmosphere, and when the sky does, it just turns this radiant red and purple hues. Maybe that's what he's thinking of. In a sky full of red, you're my light, you're as high as it gets. Take my pride, shoot it dead. I'm curious what the annotation says. It's a pretty straightforward line. Letting go of pride is a big emotional concession. Of course it is. Suggesting vulnerability, surrender, sacrifice, and love. Shoot it dead is violent, final, showing the intensity of the feeling, how completely the speaker is giving up ego. It's so true. If you're going to be someone that is going to love and is going to be someone that someone else is going to want to love, you have to get pride out of the way. I'm alive. If love is a lie, I'm oblivious. Such a that word, oblivious, obviously is the title of the song. And he takes that one word, that one concept, and again, not really, what's the word I'm looking for? There aren't a ton of lyrics to the song. But taking that one thing and stretching that word out and saying it, singing it in so many different ways, it's just really cool. And it comes across so strongly. If love is a lie, I'm oblivious. Because I'm in love. I don't know that world that you live in. The world I live in, I'm in love. And I love that idea. So yeah, I don't think there's really anything else. The rest of the lyrics kind of move on in that way. Man, I'm so excited to continue on in this album, because what was that? Track 3. And like I said, this would ultimately be my 5th song that I've heard in Father Figure. And so if you do see the Father Figure song Wash or Rich and Broke, just know I filmed those a few months ago, so the format's probably a little bit different. We weren't really leaning into Genius at that time, and trying to figure out a little bit more. Especially there was it Rich and Broke when he says, "I felt the earthquake in New York. I was in my Goosetown bed." We talked about that a bit because we were looking at the lyrics, but I was trying to figure out this earthquake in New York. I didn't know Jon's connection to New York at the time. So I might revisit those lyrics just for myself to figure out what specifically he was talking about with feeling an earthquake in New York. But anyways, that was track 3, Oblivious, another beautiful track from Jon. I love his sound and Father Figure. Thanks for being with me for this one. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this song, and I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.